So I'm Sam. Um, I am the SGA president. A little bit about me: I'm a senior poli sci major, um, business admin minor. I'm from High Point, North Carolina, and I'm also an assistant resident director of York Point Place, student justice, a deputy campaign manager for an NC Senate race, um, brother of Alpha Kappa Psi Professional Business Fraternity, and a member of the Phillips School of Business Student Advisory Board. So, kind of a little bit about what we're gonna talk about. So, kind of what your role is this semester. I know it's different since we've all had COVID, of course, take place, and kind of having to deal with your clubs and organizations, trying to figure out what to do. So I understand it's extremely difficult time. So hopefully be able to guide you in some of your decisions that you're making, help make things a little bit easier. Um, your policies and guidelines for the clubs, maybe what you can do, how you can give back to the community and to our university during this time when you know, can't typically do the normal things that you're trying to do. Talk about your club emails and then HBU Connect as well. So some of the policies and guidelines that I'll go over, I'm sure some of you have received emails over the summer from me about the policies and guidelines for clubs and organizations. So new policies for this one for this semester are, for right now, it was 30 days starting at the beginning of school, the first day of classes, that we're doing 10 only in meetings. Even though we have space that can provide for more people, we're still sticking to that 10 for at least 20 more days. And then we'll visit it again to see where we are as a university, where we are as a state, and determine if we can move forward and allow clubs and organizations to be able to utilize bigger spaces to have meetings. So that may look like your organization having a meeting in Phillips 120, Calicut Auditorium. If you have a huge organization, having that in maybe Hayworth Fine Arts. I received communication this morning that, that any off-campus events are canceled and will not be allowed. So we're working through that for clubs and organizations that do service. So we're trying to figure that out. I received the communication about 5 minutes before I had a meeting this morning, or my first session this morning. So we're still working through it. Hopefully this week, or definitely by the end of this week, we'll have some sort of communication out that at least allows clubs and organizations to have a better idea of what's going on and what they can expect, and if their organization can do their off-campus events. This mainly applies for students that are kind of having off-campus parties, renting Airbnbs, or having like 50 to 70 people in a house. Previously, the university did not have any quote unquote grounds for any type of discipline for organizations or for people that did that. But now the Department of Education and the Department of Health has given the universities in the state authority to suspend and discipline students who kind of partake in those activities. So definitely let your friends know that, or people that you know that are doing off-campus parties, even if they're not on our campus or have anything to do with HBU, they can still be held accountable through our university. So we're working through it to see what that looks like for clubs and organizations. Food, all catering needs to be done through HBU Dining, Harvest Table, or Extraordinaire Catering. You can have, like, if you want pizza at your organization, you can order the pizza. We just ask that you go pick it up and not have it delivered, trying to eliminate any unnecessary people coming on campus. If your club wishes to do a fundraiser, sell donuts or sell something at Wannock Philanthropy or at the Slane Philanthropy tables, you can do that. We just ask that you have an EC member or a club member working that table. And instead of normally when someone could just grab their own donut and move on, we ask that the person who's working the table at that time put on a glove and serve each individual student their donut. So not just letting kind of a free for all happen. If you have food in your organization and you want to, bring it from your house, you've made food or cookies or something, that's not allowed. If you are having some sort of catering, it's best if you have some people that are serving the food rather than just having everybody come by and get the food themselves. It just eliminates extra touch points. You can hold meetings in person with the 10 limit. You can hold, maybe one meeting at 6, another meeting at 6:30, and another one at 7. We just ask that you allow for, 10, 15 minutes in between those meetings when you can sanitize all the areas, heavy touch points, so the doors, tables, the chair backings where they may be touching. So we ask for that. Of course, mask wearing, that's a mandatory thing across campus and even across our state, but definitely in your club meetings. You can also do the 10-person limit and have your organizations do kind of like a breakout room like what we did. But what we have done is we've had our EC move around from room to room rather than having the senators get up and move from room to room. Even then, we have each of our EC sanitizing the computer, the mouse, the keyboard before and after they leave. So when they get there, they sanitize it, and then when they leave, they sanitize it again. I know it's a little overkill because it's, especially when someone's leaving and entering, no one's touched it in the meantime, but it still doesn't hurt. Anything helps. And you can do also, I like to call it kind of like the last one's a rotten egg type thing, where if you are having a 10-person limit room and, it fills up, then the last people that get there have to go in the other room where it's being live streamed. So you can, reserve 2 rooms and have, your first room of 10 fill up, and then everybody else that comes has to go in the next room where it's live streamed from, your room. So we've done that. We do that actually for our EC meetings. We have 14. So we have 10 in the room, and then the other 4 go in the room right next door, and it's live stream into them. Let me think. The biggest one, of course, being, just the room capacities, what you can have at a meeting, things of that sort. This year for bills, there will be no travel bills, no conference bills. We will start allowing you to do those in the spring to be able to pay for the ones that may occur the next fall. So you can do that, but as of right now, we're not, because we're not going to allow that in the spring as well, unless something drastic changes and we're in a completely different place. In a good place, then we can change that up a little bit. We're doing budget reallocations right now as well. So that means if you have money in your account for a trip that you maybe planned for, or you budgeted for something that's not going to happen, instead of taking that money away from you, we're going to give you the option to give that money away. So let's say that you have a trip planned and it's not going to happen, and you would like to donate your money to a charity or a homeless shelter or a food bank in the city, then you can do that. Just let us know on the form. The form is on HBU Connect under the Student Government Association page. So you can definitely do that. Or let's say you have a trip planned for the fall. And of course, we'll determine at the beginning of spring. We're just kind of taking everything one semester at a time. So if you feel like, that it can happen or you can reschedule it for the spring, then you can totally do that. Just let us know. But we're just trying to eliminate, because in any other circumstances, all the money would come back to us. But right now, with things being the way they are, we're allowing for you all to be kind of flexible with your money. We actually encourage you to take that money that you have and donate it. We don't need it because we won't have many bills this year. So we're relying on clubs to get creative with their bills. That may be a donation bill, providing funds or supplies to organizations in our community in the city of High Point, doing stuff for our students in a safe way. Um, it's different for them this semester, but we can definitely get creative in what we do for our students. Obviously, within the policies and guidelines. So we need your clubs, we need your leadership during this time, just to provide some sort of normalcy for our students. We all know things aren't normal, but we want to be able to, do our part and give back to our city and do those different types of things. Currently, the EC is working on providing electronics, so computers and iPads, to Guilford County schools and schools in the city of High Point. There's roughly about 5,000 students that need some sort of electronic device to do virtual learning. So we're hoping to be able to do that. We're going to try to make this a campus-wide effort with all of our clubs and organizations, different things like that. Any questions on policies or guidelines? Nothing? All right, we'll move on. Where'd it go? So in the next 2 weeks, we're asking that everyone comes to SGA office hours by yourself. There'll be 1 or 2 SGA EC there. Your president can come. Your SGA rep can come. The purpose of this is just to ensure that everyone's HBU Connect is current and up to record. We've been having some issues with some people's HBU Connect, so we just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page to utilize communication when we need to. We're going to be communicating a lot with email, so we're going to be doing that through club emails. So if you're having issues with your club email, then we can address that in our office hours as well. Our times are from 3 to 6. We only need you for about 10 minutes. Just kind of talk through your HBU Connect and your club email. So that can be you and your senator, your president, you and your senator and your your SGA rep. It can just be your rep. It can be whoever. We just want, to communicate and get everybody on the same page as we move forward. So those are from 3 to 6 in Nito Quabain School of Comm. We have 2 big conference rooms in there. There will be a form on HBU Connect for you to set up a time to meet with us during that time. Here's all of the contact information you may need. So this one up here, that is my my personal contact information. If you need anything from me personally, have any questions about anything, do not hesitate to reach out. If you have questions about how maybe you want to try to run an event or run your club meetings, please don't hesitate to ask. I'd rather you ask than maybe get in trouble later on. All of those 3 purple ones are our social media, and then the one, the HBU, highpoint.edu/SGA, that is all the information you may need when it comes to bill submissions, any of that type of information. So whatever you need is on that website. If you ever need anything, the best way to get a hold of me is email. Text message is okay for me, but sometimes it gets lost during the day when I'm receiving text messages. So the best way to do it is email. And Daniel, what do you mean through WebEx? You mean the office hours? Yes, we can do that through WebEx. So we'll put an option on there for WebEx as well. So all we do ask is that when you show up, at least show your face, so that way we know it's you. So if you want to do that through WebEx, that's totally fine as well. Like I said, it'll only be 5-10 minutes. We won't keep you very long. We just want to make sure everybody's on the same page and everybody knows how to utilize the resources that we have. Are there any other questions that any of you have? Alrighty, if you have any questions in the meantime, do not hesitate to reach out or ask. Email me with anything, even if you think it's a dumb question. It's not. I assure you there's other people that's asked it or thinking it. So I'm more than happy to answer. Like I said, this week we'll resend out some more information, probably send you everyone an updated policy guideline, um, and be able to, help and support in any way we can, as well as the off campus stuff. We'll send an update on that as well. But if there's nothing else, you know where to find me, or email me or text me. But if it's urgent, you can always call as well. So if nobody has anything else, that'll be it for me.